question is, have you heard from WB about continuing since releasing your film?
Well, no. This is what here's the thing I haven't, this is the really, if you want to, I haven't heard from them at all. Like from the day after I released the movie, I haven't gotten a phone call or it's been radio silence. So I don't, the only communication was Anne's article after the movie was released, but that wasn't directly to me. It was to the people. And that was, yeah. So I don't know. Like, as far as I'm concerned, let's see what happens with Discovery, and that's cool. Yeah. And maybe there's like, who knows? But yeah. Right now, all I know is that as of yesterday, Justice League was #1 in the UK again. So that's cool.
So yes, you did read the title properly. The Snyderverse being restored, exposing the truth. Justice League 2, Justice League 3, Batfleck War Stew project. What is freaking going on? So the reason I'm doing this video is because every time I put something on Instagram, I always get bombarded with, give us an update for the Snyderverse. What is the truth? You're a liar and stuff like that. So yo, what is good YouTube? War Stew here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. Check us out on Instagram at War Stew. If you want to see the face behind the voice, also check us out on Twitter, War Stew G, aka The Maverick, and check us out on twitch.tv/WarStew. I will be streaming on there very, very soon. So let's take a step back before we take a step forward. So I've been covering the Snyderverse content since before anyone else covered it. Okay, that's factually incorrect. Before most people covered it. I've been covering it since 2017. So I'm not one of these let's make a new YouTube channel bandwagon, a hype train mofos. I've been on the train since it started, since before it. I went to the 2017 UK premiere of the Justice League Sweden cut, and at the time I was very grateful. The channel had like 5,000 subscribers then. Very grateful to get an invite from Warner Bros. UK. But after I watched that movie, it was apparent to me that was not the Snyder cut. And realistically, we were talking about the reshoots. We spoke about the reshoots and how that changed the game and how they did the reshoots in London at the Warner Bros. Studios there. So we've been on this bandwagon for years and years. So I find it very disrespectful when these small, yes, and I will say small, these little YouTube channels do videos exposing me, and then I check up on their little channels and they're literally doing Zack Snyder promising restoring the Snyderverse. So it's the kind of case of, if you're going to expose someone or try to expose them, don't start doing content which is kind of edgy and kind of, you're doing the content you're trying to expose me for. And another thing that I find very interesting is, just because you have a YouTube channel or a Twitter or an Instagram does not mean you have industry sources. And just because you don't have access to said source or said insider does not mean it's not real. Like, when I get this information, and remember, I said that Zack Snyder Justice League was coming to HBO Max before pretty much any other content creator on the YouTube. Go back and look on the channel. Yes, I said 2022, but it was 2021. But we got the premise of everything right. Now, when I talk to my industry insiders and sources, these are telephone calls. This is not like a text conversation. Someone calls me up. I have info on a lot of stuff. So we got the whole Snyder Cut being released correct. Yes, we got the year wrong, but the information was still correct. So now we're up to date. Yeah, what is good YouTube? War Stew here. So before the Snyder Cut actually dropped, I was given information, privy information, that told me things that happened inside the movie, what was cut. I knew the Green Lantern scene, the John Stewart scene was cut before it actually happened. I knew all that stuff. So the reason why I don't question my sources is because they told me exactly how Zack Snyder's team were going to promote the movie. They told me exactly what was cut from the movie. They said all the behind the scenes drama. I was literally told everything 100% of the time. Like, I knew the information before it came out. So when people question the credibility of the intel I get, I don't really care if you question it, because they've been right about every single thing. So as soon as it came out, I was told from my sources, and they've been right about a lot of stuff to do with DC, that there were talks going behind the scenes. So the clip I played at the start of the video is Zack Snyder saying he's not heard from them, but clearly Zack Snyder has had informal meetings with people regarding the project. I know that firsthand. Multiple meetings from what we're told. But the way the internet sees it, and the way you guys probably watching the video sees it, or the voiceover videos, because you can't physically see anything publicly means that nothing is happening. And then you get Zack Snyder still dropping tidbits, still dropping, you know, the artwork for the Green Lantern scene, almost like he's going to drop it. He will drop it at some point, but he could potentially be sued if he did that. Even though it was shot in his backyard, technically it's still WB property. So what is interesting is you guys don't see it, so it's not true. It's like this Ben Affleck stuff. You guys don't see it, so it's not true. But then you get people like Daniel Rickman coming out, industry insider, Twitter super duper scooper, who is very credible. To be fair, he's one of the better scoopers I do trust majority of the time. When he comes out and says something about Ben Affleck returning and staying on after the Flash movie, he's not going to be killed in the Flash movie. I know Rickman didn't say that, but essentially Rickman's been saying some stuff recently about Ben Affleck returning after the Flash movie. You guys keep listening. You guys start listening then. But I've been saying this for a while. Just because it's not common knowledge does not mean it's not happening. Now, as far as I understand, Ben Affleck is still keen to come back and do this HBO Max series. Now, the information we dropped the other day, going over details about the Flash movie and how the Flash movie will kind of reboot the DCU in a roundabout way. I read the comments. I always read the comments. I don't always respond, but I read the comments. And people are like, yeah, War Stew, you're backtracking, you're liar. And I'm thinking, do you have any intelligence about you? Stories, information does change. Just because they're going with one storyline in the Flash movie does not mean that the Snyderverse will never continue. And like we've always said on this channel, the Snyderverse will continue at some point. But we've always said this on HBO Max, just like the Zack Snyder Justice League movie was on HBO Max and wasn't theatrical release. Yes, I understand Zack's trying to do some special showing in LA, I think. He did talk about it on a YouTube channel recently. Is if the Snyderverse continues, when it does, it will be Snyderverse, HBO Max based stuff. But there's still a lot of hurdles that I have to go through. Zack Snyder does not want to work with Toby. Zack Snyder wants full control if he is to come back. Yes, I understand he said on multiple YouTube channels that he would come back in a heartbeat, but you guys do not understand how things work. Now, just because the Flash movie looks like Michael Keaton is going to be the main Batman, no, he's not even once, not even freaking close. He's going to be a little like a mentor role to Barry Allen, the Flash. So regardless to what happens in the Flash movie, Ezra Miller was casted by Zack Snyder, Kirstie Clemens casted by Zack Snyder, Ben Affleck casted by Zack Snyder, War Stew casted by Walter Hamada. No, I'm joking. Do you get my point? Like, if they are truly going to reboot everything, they will have to change the actor who plays the Flash, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and like literally they will have to change every single character. People are like, yeah, they're doing that on Michael Keaton. No, they're not doing that on Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is a complete different variant. He's the OG, well, he's one of the OG Batmans. So if you honestly think that Michael Keaton is going to be the face of DC Universe going forward, then you are kind of deluded and in a way. So really what I'm trying to say is I've heard about meetings and discussions throughout. Yes, there is this big Discovery buyout when they're going to come in and David Salaki is going to come in and want all the new talent, and he wants Christopher Nolan back on, he wants War Stew back on, he wants all the talent, the actors, the directors, all to come back to work with Warner Bros. Discovery, the place where dreams are made of. And this is all cool information, and it's true. It really is true. He is looking at every single project that has been in talks or they've had looked at that's been greenlit. He's literally looked at everything, or he will be looking at everything, and he will be trying to get Zack Snyder back on board for sure. But just because you guys can't physically see something does not mean it's not true. Now, this is where there's a line here which I find very interesting, because Variety, because Deadline is not reporting this stuff, and I keep saying, okay, but when I said the Snyder Cut was coming to HBO Max, Deadline, Variety, it's done, it's dusted, Mr. Fairycorn YouTube channel was saying stuff like there's more chance of fairy and unicorns being real, and now the very same YouTube channel has done like 200 probably Snyderverse videos in the last 6 months. Do you see my point? With journalism in this kind of entertainment pop culture field, things can change very, very fast. Warner Brothers is not going to be the same company that it was, say, a year ago, in a year's time. Now, this merger could take up to 2022, but realistically, it's to do with Toby and Cernoff or Hamada and all this kind of people. Their contracts won't be up to at least 2023. So people saying, I know there's a super duper kind of fake scooper website where they're like, yeah, the Snyderverse will be restored by 2022. No, that's not going to happen, because it's not the simple case of, yeah, Discovery takes over, Zack Snyder snaps his fingers and comes back and restores the Snyderverse. There's nothing to restore, because the Snyderverse hasn't gone anywhere. The way that the public was sold this was, yeah, Zack, you can finish your movie, you can do the additional nightmare scene, and that was it. Now, Zack's been teasing things here, there. He keeps telling people, don't lose faith. Now, why is Zack Snyder telling you not to lose faith? Because there are negotiations and talks going on behind the scenes. Now, this video is exposing the truth. There is somewhat truth to everything I've always said. But as I keep saying, I hear things, I tell you. I'm not a super duper Twitter scuba. So when these little YouTube channels call me out, it's hilarious to me because I just get told information. That's it. And like, oh, because you don't have access to sources and information, well, build up some credibility, then you may get access to information. And like I said, we've been right about a lot of things in the past before. We have been right about a lot of stuff, Snyderverse based stuff, but just because you can't physically and mentally see it from Variety, do you have to wait for Deadline and Variety to say something like, you know, when the Spider-Man 3 was out of the MCU, but we know it never was, and Tom Holland saved that massive money deal. No, he didn't. That was a PR stunt. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is yeah, I get it. You want the Snyderverse content. You want me to keep talking about Justice League 2, 3, Batfleck, the War Stewverse, and all that kind of stuff. It's cool, but at the moment, there isn't really a substantial update for me to say anything. So I'm exposing the truth that there is some truth to everything. And there's also some truth to Henry Cavill being on the Black Adam set to some degree, but not really, but kind of, but I don't really want to say. But realistically, yeah, sure, he could appear. Henry Cavill could appear in Black Adam. Why? Because it's going to go past, present, and potentially future. But as for like this like convoluted stuff like that, when people say, yeah, The Rock's got a gagging order, he cannot talk about the Snyderverse or Zack Snyder's work or else he'll be sued. Yeah, nice one, mate. Try suing The Rock. Literally try and sue The Rock and he will destroy you in court. So yeah, I'm not going to keep doing these little videos every few days about the Snyderverse stuff. I mean, sure, the Flash movie has to be connected to the Snyderverse because Ben Affleck will be in it in a flashback sequence point of view, if you get where I'm coming from. Now, he will speak to Batfleck and be like, how did you get over your parents' death? How did you get over it? That point of view. And then Ben Affleck, Batman, will be like, we've spoke before, you know, when he ran back in time to say, it's all about the nightmare, Lois is the key and all that stuff. So he's going to remember that stuff, and that is essentially how he's going to get to this new time universe, whatever they're going to call it in DC universe going forward. So yeah, everything is still connected. And Andy Muschietti has also said everything past, present, and future is all part of the same universe because that is the multiverse. So the Snyderverse is not going anywhere because the multiverse, you can have lots of different continuities, lots of different stories going on at the same time. I mean, the Michael Keaton stuff, that is Tim Burton's universe, which evidently they are building sets for Gotham and the mansion that was pretty close to where we live here and stuff like that. So realistic, guys, the Snyderverse can continue and will continue, but there are tidbits going around. But until something concrete comes out publicly for you guys, you won't ever believe anything I can say, even though the track record is very good. And there's a lot of people that say I talk shit, but if I talk shit, don't listen to me. Then that is as simple as that, guys. Do not listen to what I say. But when I get stuff right, I've been right about multiple things, pretty much every Snyderverse stuff to do with the Snyder Cut. I was right about everything, even about the release and how it was going to go and the trailers and all that kind of stuff. We've been right about a lot of stuff. So I'm exposing the truth that yes, the Snyderverse can continue and will. And at the moment, there are talks that have been going on and there is a plan there, but also at the same time, the Walter Hamada universe, Walter Hamada is attached to the Black Adam movie because he's got to be an EP. He's also attached to Shazam 2 and Aquaman and all that kind of stuff. But that's still got to be Snyderverse stuff because it started in the Snyderverse. So going forward, the multiverse will be a combination of the Hamadaverse, the War Stewverse, Emmerichverse, I guess you could say, and all this kind of stuff. So guys, just chill. I mean, I know you love me doing Snyderverse content, but I will cover all things DC, like the Flash movie, Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, Black Adam, but we can't always talk about the Snyderverse. So I'm exposing the truth to what the truth is. The truth is, at the moment, you just have to sit and be patient. You either believe me or you comment saying, War Stew, you're a clickbait bitch, you know absolutely nothing. Then maybe in 6 months to a year's time, or maybe DC Fandom event, something officially comes out and then you've got to backtrack and be like, yo, actually, you were right. Now, just because I said in a previous video we did a few days ago that the Flash movie going forward is going to kind of softly reboot the universe, but you guys didn't really get the context. I meant it's going to reboot like the DCEU universe to the multiverse, and I did describe in that video how the Snyderverse would continue, but a lot of you guys didn't really seem to get it at all. Now, as far as we know, the Supergirl in that universe will be the daughter of Superman from Michael Keaton's universe. It's all connected, guys, so just chill out. I know you guys love me doing these Snyderverse videos, and I love doing them, but there's no factual information that's out publicly that I can talk about. Yes, I know things that are going on behind the scenes, and obviously now America is finally releasing the Snyder Cut on Blu-ray. What does that mean? I don't know what it means, but something's going forward, and HBO Max have said how successful the Snyder Cut's been. It's hit number 5 on the UK for the 5th time, not the 5th week in a row, but the 5th individual time here in the United States of England. So guys, the Snyderverse is very successful. It always has been. So just chill out, wait and see what happens. If you don't want to believe me, don't believe me. But as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I know, the Snyderverse will continue. It's just going to take a little while. just like the Snyder Cut did. This movie came out in 2017, yet it took to 2020 for the movie to come out. That's a pretty long time, isn't it? And that movie was already shot. Zack just had to redo, do the nightmare scene. So just think how long it's going to actually take to restore the whole Snyderverse. It's going to take a moment, guys. So like always, check us out on Instagram at WashStew if you want to see the face behind the voice. Check us out on Twitter, WashStewG, aka The Maverick, and check us out on Twitch TV/WashStew. We're streaming on there very, very soon. And I'll catch you in another video first, guys. If you've got any recommended videos, you want me to do any kind of content, just let me know in the comment box down below. Hit the like to help this channel grow. And I will catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch you later.